Hey guys, Yuri K here. In this video I will be explaining the glycemic index. The glycemic index measures how much a particular food increases a person's blood glucose levels. When we look at the food in question, it has to contain a measurable quantity of carbohydrates for the study, for example 50 grams of carbohydrates. Next, the person that eats this food has to be in a fasted state, meaning that they haven't eaten for at least 12 hours, so that this food is not going to interact with other foods in their digestive system. Next, the study has to contain a sample of people, a population of people. So normally we use 10 people in the study. And finally, the study is performed over a 2-hour window to determine how high each person's blood glucose levels rise. Now finally, you take the average blood glucose levels of these 10 people to determine the glycemic index, which is a numeric number on a scale of 0 to 100, with 100 being the highest, consisting of pure glucose. So the blood glucose level here is going to be in comparison to pure glucose to determine how high, relatively speaking, will that person's blood glucose level increase. Simple carbohydrates, such as sugars, will cause our blood glucose levels to increase faster and to a higher degree, giving them a high glycemic value. On the other hand, complex carbohydrates, such as whole grains, fruits, and legumes, will cause the blood glucose levels to increase at a slower rate and to a lesser degree, giving them a lower glycemic value. Unfortunately, the glycemic index is not the most accurate measure of how a particular food affects our blood glucose levels. The glycemic index is flawed in several ways. For example, when we are measuring the effect of food on our blood glucose levels, the measurement that's taken from the food is the equivalent of 50 grams of carbohydrates. However, that food will have other components to it as well, such as proteins and fats, which will skew the absorption and digestion of that food and its subsequent conversion to glucose. The second flaw is that people, when consuming their normal diets, they're not going to consume the carbohydrate-rich food in study in isolation. They're going to consume it with other foods. So for example, a person is not just going to eat a bowl of white rice or a potato just by itself. They're going to have steak or chicken with that. So they're going to actually balance out their diet, and their blood glucose levels will be handled and managed accordingly according to the food that they're eating. And the third flaw is that each person's metabolism is different and is going to process carbohydrates in a different way. So even though this study contains an average of 10 people's blood glucose levels, when we take it in the context of a large scope or a large population, it's still going to be variably different for each person. So even though each of these people may be eating the same kinds of foods, their blood glucose levels will increase to a different degree. Another flaw with the glycemic index is that it doesn't take into account the other foods eaten, proteins and fats, which will also convert into glucose in the blood. So for example, protein usually converts at a rate of 50% to glucose, while fats convert at a lower level. However, these will also impact a person's blood glucose levels. But at the same time, a food that's primarily protein or fat cannot be included in the measurement of the glycemic index if it does not contain carbohydrates. So as a result, such a food will have a glycemic index of 0, even though it still has an effect on a person's blood glucose levels. There you have it. So that's the glycemic index explained. Hope you guys liked the video. Please give me a thumbs up. Please comment, share, and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Instagram. You can find me at the link below in the info box at YuriK0877. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.